And it is us,
Yes.
your friendly neighborhood crazy persons. And we are live.
Yes,
Burn
we
Team
are.
family, pick up yourself. And today, tonight, this morning, whenever you look at this, remember to share it if it is on Facebook. And if you are looking at this on YouTube, feel free to
Subscribe, like, share. Hit the notification bell.
This morning was nice.
Yes.
We had aerobics that was met with thunder and lightning. Very nice scenery on top San Fernando Hill. Should try it sometime. Crazy. Yeah? And the topic for today is...
Racism.
Now let me say it slowly. The topic for today is...
Racism.
Aye, aye, aye. There are problems in this day. So for all who now coming on the live, big up yourself. It's going to be a very interesting chain of events. Because this thing has plagued the earth for a very long time. And we can see it rear its head even in the behaviors of certain law enforcement around the world. So, Burn Team is about emotional fitness, mental fitness, physical fitness. So this fall in the category. John boy, you know, first at the draw, I don't know if it's first, but
Yes.
yeah. John boy first at the draw. Yeah, blessings. And it's going to be very interesting, you know, because this is a platform where views are expressed,
Yes.
and this is a platform where we do not judge, but we just try to understand one another's view.
Yes.
Racism is the topic for today.
Yes.
Chica, what do you think about racism? Where's your view? What do you think about racism? It's a broad topic.
Yes, it is. What I think about racism is that there's always something to divide, and that is what racism is basically to me. Something that continues to divide us as a people. All right, and racism, it seems like it's not going anywhere.
It will never go anywhere. I'm talking about it. Can you eradicate that?
Right? Yeah. So it's something, as Lion just said, has been around for many years.
Long before.
Yes.
Us.
And some persons, they experience racism on different levels. So much so leading to death. Sometimes racism, that's what it leads to, death.
Well, we have accounts where people were lynched and beaten and raped. And let's not even talk about the Middle Passage. We're not even going there at this point, at this present junction. But it is a broad topic, and we will be dealing with racism as it opposed to episodes. So we'll have a 3-part episode, which will be episode 1, and we would have a 3-part episode to start, because the length and breadth of this topic and the views surrounding it are so broad. One live wouldn't be able to cover it. So racism is and will always be one of the rotten eggs in society. Big up Trevor G on the live, big up John Boy, big up Andy. I hope you're staying, waiting for your views as always. And we have guys on the live, boy.
Yes. I realize that
the guys
come on for a different type of serious discussion.
Yeah.
And the ladies were on the live for what some persons may have considered bacchanalia.
So you see the mindset of it, of the ladies.
Yeah.
Bigging up Burn Team again. So if you're looking at this on Facebook, feel free to subscribe. And if you are looking at this on YouTube,
Give me a second. So,
Yeah.
like, share on Facebook. If it is you're looking at it right now, do a watch party, invite people to look at the live and join in the discussion.
One thing with the watch party is that when you start a watch party,
Yeah.
you alone get to see your
Who
people's
commented.
comments. So
Yes.
better you just share the live
Yeah,
so
share the
everybody
live
could
and-
comment together.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, racism. So in the comment section, as we always start off the live, place in the comment section a brethren who on the live. Yeah? Place in the comment section, what is racism to you? Yeah? And it's very interesting that, we don't really use the word racism, we kind of use the word
Racial.
racist.
Yeah.
We call people, that is what we're hearing in social media, that is what we're hearing across the news. So Chica, before we even get into the scenario, what is the definition of racism?
Alright. So the definition of racism is when persons show prejudice, discrimination, and antagonism towards people of a particular racial or ethnic group. So what it is basically is just showing prejudice, discrimination, and antagonism towards another group. It doesn't matter what group it is, right? So it's just showing discrimination, prejudice, and antagonism towards another racial group or ethnic group, where persons may decide that one is more superior to the other.
And from the dawn of time, people of different ethnic backgrounds, people of different views, people of different racial connotations
Yes.
have had this belief. And I think the more people believe in something, the dangerous it is. Because if one race believes they are greater than another race, they always tend to treat the other race as less than human.
Yes.
So where it is certain races would have been oppressed, it was always marketed that they were less than human beings and they were treated far less than such. Yes? So in the comment section, people, it's a serious topic. Soldiers on the live, so you see the difference with men and women. You understand? Big up Bertie, big up all over the live, and it is a serious discussion that should be had. And again, it is racism.
Yes. And when we speak about racism, we need to understand race. And race in this context has to do with the physical differences that society and cultures accept as being significant. So this is physical differences, color of the skin, texture of the hair, right? Sometimes people go as far as, the biological, the gene pool, right? So that is what we have. And we know that in the Caribbean, it's a mix racial grouping. And you see, the thing about it is where society, now if society didn't decide to put persons into groups, as Lion always said, labeling, the labels, label this one as Negro, Indian, Chinese, all the different groups you could think about, the Spaniards, they go on and label based on color of skin, texture of hair, and the that gene pool. That is the significant differences, that the physical that they can see with the eyes.
So the social connotation is miscued. Yeah? Where someone would have referred to someone's race would have been where they came from. So you would call a Chinese, he came from China. Called Africans of African descent because we have descended from African slaves. Yes, and in the same way, and all the other ethnic backgrounds that represent the lands of which people originated from.
Alright.
Message board.
Message board. So we have
Fellas
John
of the
saying
life.
people afraid ethnic topics because that's opening Pandora's box, a painful box, both present and past issues.
John won't feel any pain. I would say it painful, you know. It would be only painful to the people who actually got paid.
Yeah.
Right? We are in the Caribbean and we create our own racism right here in the Caribbean. And it doesn't make much sense because on the world scale, once you are not white, you're black, regardless you're in East Indian, African, mix is a dogla, what we they say. You know, so what they have done though, what we would always is not about being afraid or trying. We need to speak about these topics because it will give other people an understanding of what is really happening in the world. You would realize that the new term now is minority and majority.
Yeah.
If you notice the terminology that is happening, minority and majority.
Yeah.
Right?
You may even hear the word marginalized.
So if you notice the words, it has now been, you know, the sectioning us off in a sense that everybody who is not white, right? Which is, I mean, that is what it has been brought to.
Yeah.
The belief of men, being of whatever race. Yes, Trevor. You know Trevor Shiba.
So we go into the message board. Trevor, first to begin, race is a government-designed politic divide of peoples created few hundred years ago. Racial prejudice is sort of illusion, cause there is no race. But people show prejudice to others for one reason or another, generally in ignorance and by lack of information. SMH, shake my head. Race is pure BS, cause most of the people on earth are mixed.
Big up Trevor G and, you know, avid roots and reality.
Yes,
and if you're now coming onto the live, feel free to share this live. If you're looking at it on Facebook, share. And if you're looking at this on YouTube,
subscribe, hit the notification bell, and share the link too.
So the topic is racism. And in the comment section, please, what racism is to you. Trevor just said it's an illusion. Well, the amount of illusions we live in it.
Yes.
Anyway, that's a whole next genre.
He said illusion, divide, as well as what one will say BS, because it makes no sense.
Well, I always utilize the universal principle.
Well, yes.
When coming to matters that I cannot, you know, that we are confused about. I'm not talking about persons like myself, Chika, Trevor, Andy, John Boy. It's not that. It's that what the masses believe in is what really matters, because the masses is what doing the craziness. Right? Now we could say there is a grouping or a ruling class. We could say anything we want. It's up to you to choose. Right?
Choice is always the main thing in everything.
Right? So yes, I mean, if we are to break down, even going to your DNA, a lot of us would have had ancestors that are not African, maybe East European, and very strange, you know, mixing in the genetics. But the baseline genetic scenario would always be Afro. I had to do a genetic scenario back in the days, Trevor, where I had to actually, you know, come to some understanding of how this genetic thing actually, you know, works here. So story time, right? Story time before we continue. So there were myself and an East Indian person doing, you know, the examination, right? And we went back for results based upon that. And what the East Indian person saw was Afro in the baseline of the gene, and she went back to the lab, and the person who gave her the results and was telling her that she's East Indian. And what the lab technician was saying is that when they take a sample of anyone in the Caribbean's genes and they send it to a third-party lab to test, every single person in the Caribbean right now, the baseline gene is African, so it starts with Afro, irregardless whatever race you may be projecting. So your hair might be straight like a needle, and that's what it was, and their skin might be light, but when they go to the baseline of the DNA in the Caribbean, and scientists have proven, beyond that. But we were just talking about my situation. The baseline gene is Afro, right? So even the skin deep thing, or the hair, so as Chika would say, hair, skin, pigment, non-pigment, that kind of thing. But in reality, if we were to break down people's genes on the planet, it would give us a better understanding that we're really arguing for nothing. So, in the comment section, people, please, what are your pet peeves with racism? And
have you been tremendously affected by it?
Have you ever been discriminated?
Yeah.
And if you have ever been discriminated before, put it in the comment section for whatever reason, so that we could gain some form of understanding. Moving along.
Yeah, that's no reason to go there. Nothing there. And the question is now, within yourself, are you racist? Because some people, I love everybody.
No, the topic is racism,
Yes.
And then I like to deal with the words used,
Yes.
So big up everybody on the live. Big up Miss Bartholomew. Big up Amelia on the live. Feel free to place in your comment section. The topic is racism and what racism means to you. Yes. So the term that you just brought up, the other word. The other word we like to hear on social media, they say, you're a racist, that's a racist, this one is a racist, that one is a racist, this president is a racist, this...
So remember that racism is where you show discrimination, prejudice, or antagonism towards another, racial group, right? And we understand what the racial groups are in terms of texture of the hair, color of the skin, the physical appearances that people put labels and put them in little, groupings. And racist then is you showing that towards another.
So me being devil's advocate now. I love words. And the reason why I love words is because we use them so wrongly that we don't really understand. We use some words that we think mean one thing, and the word don't really mean that.
Yeah.
So this color is black. Is black a bad word? No. But there's a lot of bad things attached to the word black. Black Friday, black magic, black this, black powder with a black cat pass here across your path. Right?
Yeah. So we have in the message board Sonali saying, of course she has been affected by, racism, not tremendously, but yes.
Big up Z. Z was a part of the aerobic session this morning before the rain came.
Yeah.
Well done, Z. Yeah, big up yourself, big up Miss Bartholomew. Yes, as I was saying, a word, what I realize in our society, words are not really bad now. Is how we interpret the word. So as I said, this is black, we wearing black. Is something wrong with black? No. Is the word black wrong? No. Is the word black evil? No. But you notice that there are attachments that are like a negativity with the word black. Time you hear black cat, black this, black that, always a bad connotation. That's the message board.
Yes, so we have Andy. Race started with all of us and it ends with all of us because we are one people that came from one race. I agree with you, big brother.
Which is, anyhow, that is what they're fighting over, Andy, right? So, I use the word black because black, the word, is not a bad word. It is what we use it for that makes it bad. So I want to use a word that have a lot of bad connotation, you know. Racist. Now, the interesting thing about words is that we could understand black is not wrong, right? It is just used, you know, in certain negative connotations. But the word racist, I think, not racism. Now, understand the words, people. You know, when you're rolling with your boy, I like to break down the word. We're dealing with racism. And racism is
showing discrimination, prejudice, and antagonism towards a racial group.
good.
Where you believe one is superior to the other.
Right. Then message board before I continue.
Alright, so John,
I'm
I'm
so
so careful
say.
that I tend to live in a box. Yes, I try not to offend the neighbor dog and all, but the race thing reaches as far as another similarly colored co-worker apparently made it a weird competition in his mind to impress the more popular race. He began to turn savage against me, but tried to act intellectual in front of the other popular race to feel like he is important, having engaged himself in conversations with them.
And that is like every we know what we want to call that person, I can't call it on life. Right? But I mean, it's interesting to know that people are still shackled by the thoughts of others.
Yes.
And that is what you are seeing there. Remember, we are kings and queens. I think we've forgotten who we are. So if we were to do our life on some canker, you know what I mean? But when we need to uplift ourselves as a people, you know, people are afraid of standing on their own, and even if it means standing alone. Yeah.
John is asking, Wakanda is a bad word?
Wakanda forever. Right. So think about it. So, back to the story. Black is not a bad word.
Yeah.
It's how it is used. And I don't believe that words are inherently bad. What is the energy behind the word? Racist, Chica. What is the first thing come to your mind when you say racist?
Somebody showing discrimination, prejudice, or antagonism towards somebody else of a different racial background.
So people, we have misunderstood what the word racist is. Now bear with me, because I am devil's advocate. She can all wait to
I am waiting.
Message boy.
What makes black a bad word is our frame of mind, and how others see us.
Frame.
Oh,
Right?
sorry.
Right? So I mean, yes, it's the frame of mind. But why I'm using the word black is because black is not anything evil, but is what we put behind it. So Chica said racist is, you know, because I don't think it have anything
Yes.
positive.
Oxford Dictionary, people, is not my own creation.
So I telling us for the crazy. Right, so here what is going on. In English, there's something called a suffix. Anytime I put a suffix at the end of a word, it means that whoever I'm speaking about is proficient in the act. So when I put a is, so all who don't understand what is prefix and suffix, let me get to the point. Suffix is. So anytime I put an is at the end of a word, can't turn on the live, so this school time, you know. A is at the end of a word, all what she can face how straight it is. When I put an is at the end of a word, it means that the persons involved are proficient at what they do. For example, a scientist is proficient at science. A chemist is proficient at chemistry. A pianist is proficient in playing the piano. A violinist. Understanding what a suffix is very important, because a racist means the same thing. A racist is not a negative word. Martin Luther King was proficient in building his race.
I didn't say building. It says showing discrimination towards
Malcolm
another.
X. No, but that is what, you see, that is the difference. Remember, when you put a suffix, you see, that's the problem with us. Because when we Google, you know, I realize with this generation, they the Google generation. You understand? If I was in school, my days, my English teacher would have told me, does that word have a prefix or a suffix? And that is our problem. Once we Google something, if Google decide to put something as something, we just go believe quite one time now. If well, Google say, and we bring up in next one. Google, anything that has a suffix. So racist could be negative and racist could be positive. But because our society, this world, this generation, everything, just like black, you know, just like black, it has no White Friday. It has no, because notice, when you have a dark angel, anything black and dark, the connotation. But when we're looking at English, Oxford will tell you what they are. But when you're doing English language, what we used to do in school, we know prefix and suffix. So, when you have a suffix at the end of a word, it makes the person proficient in what they're doing. Just because society now and social media and all these things that are happening now led our minds to believe that just because we say racist, remember racist has a suffix. I'm moving forward. I just being devil's advocate of people, but it's reality, right? Because black is not a bad word. But where we put it, it gives off a negative connotation.
All right, message. Trevor, glad you mentioned that about racist. I was going to touch on that. Nothing wrong with being a racist in the correct use of the term.
Yes, Trevor.
But still, race is an illusion.
Yes, yes, and that is and again, we are educating, right? We don't do much education in this world. We don't do much education, contrary to the belief of all the degrees people. We don't do much education. We do a lot of memorization. So when you have to go and do an exam, you memorize your work.
Yeah.
Education comes from the Greek word educe. Educe means to draw out. We don't do a lot of drawing out of one another. We just memorize and write a paper, and the paper say, all right, we proficient. We get doctorate and whatever because we memorize and we were proficient in memory. So we memorize and we wrote the exam and we pass and we think we're proficient. No, we're not. So the term is racism. Chica face is very straight. Yes? And for those who come in on your life, big up yourself, is Guyana.
Yes, Guyana.
Guyana in the house, big up yourself. Feel free to put your links in the comment section to, people to view all the little aerobics and things. We're supposed to be doing some kind of little thing at some point in time. What's her name?
Gail Smith.
Gail Smith. Big up yourself. Right? Trevor G, check out Gail Smith. Everybody go check out Gail Smith. Right? So the topic is racism. And we are trying now as a people to help build one another.
Yes.
It cannot be eradicated because it's a mindset, as Trevor said. And he said that as well. And it is a type of thinking. It's a superiority complex,
Yes.
which will always be here. And the thing is, this superiority complex doesn't even have to be skin color or hair texture. It could even be monetary.
Yeah.
Because there are people with my skin color that have a lot of money. And they still have this dominion, this God gene, right? Because of what they have, right? So racism could even stem or spill over into that.
And that will what they consider as classism because persons are in different class,
Right?
because of or status, yeah.
So classism, racism. So you hear the ism. I ain't gonna even break down that.
Message was, so we have Sonali saying, so true, the term racist can either be uplifting or downgrading. And Trevor, thankful for what you are doing. sometimes you have to start with the weakness of people and what they are accustomed to hearing or believing or know, to then take them to a higher level. And we all can grow together. By the way, ladies, I'm open to all races of ladies.
Oh, but we know we open to all races. So yes, big up Gail Smith,
Yeah.
Guyanese fit chick. So, Gail, you could put your link to your Facebook or your YouTube in the comment section here. And when people get time, they could take a catch up and see how it looking here. Chica, you and Chica could do a little thing, yeah. Well, they get time. Right. So, the topic is racism, right? Tell me what racism means to you. Some of the things we can do to change our set about the current disposition of our world. And again, it's burn team. Physically fit, mentally fit, emotionally fit. And to survive in this world, the mental, you see this, the mental is important.
Very.
Right? So again, remember that words, sometimes because the masses use it in a particular way, it do have to mean what you think.
Because even
means.
the word discrimination as well, discrimination doesn't.
It's not a bad word.
It don't want to be a bad word. They could discriminate against food
Bad
that
things.
is not good for your body.
And we discriminate highly against toxic food.
Yeah.
I discriminate against it. If I see you drinking soft drink, I'm going to lick it out your hand. Right? So it's the connotations that are added to the thing. So people, tell us in the comment section. We're giving other people a chance in the comment section to state, have they ever been, discriminated because of their race? If you would like to share your experience, feel free to share the experience. Yes? And again, silly kid, right? Right, and again, we are living in a world, we are fortunate to be living in a country where our heads of state look like us. It look like us. But what do you think about the situations going on outside of the Caribbean with people of our dispensation, living in countries that are ruled by racism and ruled and governed with that type of fierceness when coming to that, that mentality? What was your view on if you was living over there?
Well, first I would like to be thankful that I'm not living over there. That's one. I'm very thankful for that. It is a very disturbing thing because imagine you as a person, it's like you can't even walk the streets with a light, energy.
And we just walk a lot. We can't do much walking.
You're walking, but you end up having some of them they may step out in fear because you could never tell what is going to happen. You minding your own business, and because racism is prevalent and you can't go out there.
It's
you're not
really,
sure
really bad,
if it is you're going to get killed because of your race when you step out there. You're not sure if you're going to go back home to your family because of the color of your skin, the texture of your hair, and how people view you. Because we know that in other countries, they view them as the inferior people. They view them as nothing good at all. They have nothing good. They view them as criminals. They view them as vagabonds and anything that could have a negative connotation.
So in the comment section, place in the comment section, people, if you were living in a country ruled by racism, what would you do? Place in the comment section. If you were living in the States right now, they're shooting people. On Facebook, they're just shooting down these people. They're shooting down we,
Yeah. For no reason.
The fellas are looking like us. The blatant, no reprisals, no justice, no nothing. I don't think I saw a time in history where it was so blatant as opposed to back then, when, they how free slaves and they were
Yeah.
lynching.
Yeah,
I mean, it come like lynching over again.
Yeah.
So people in the comment section, please, in the comment section, what you would have done if you were living in a country that was so consumed with this toxic behavior. What would you do? And I mean, it's sad. People are angry. I mean, just as the situation, the uprising before we got Black Lives Matter. Yeah, I mean, it's people like ourselves, like our Caribbean people, that are being oppressed.
Yes.
And the thing is, it is plastered all over the media. And it's like, it is becoming a norm.
No.
And there's nothing happening. And no one's doing anything. The presidents of these countries are just smiling and waving. And I think this is the worst time right now for us as a people.
Yeah.
And when I say us as a people, anything that they're white, because there are people in my country as well, that because the skin light, they think, well,
They are playing.
I just laugh at these people. You know what I mean? And the thing is, I have always even worked with all different types of people from all over the world. So I always see colors. Right? Whatever color it is, I always see colors. But I mean, the fierceness and the there's like they have no rules governing this thing. I mean, and it's really out of hand. Let's get to the message board.
So we have Gail, who is from Guyana. She said we have to work 5 times harder to prove yourself. So in Guyana, as persons of African descent, they have to work 5 times harder to prove themselves. Then we have John. Do like COVID in government. I staying inside, yes, because any uprising will be shut down.
Well, that is true. Yeah, and Sherry live, misfit, big up the Ghanese population, because we have Ghanese here.
Yeah.
So I mean, same color, just only have a kind of extra step, I don't know. A kind of quick step when they're moving. Anyhow, right. So, yes, John boy, how long we were high, boy? I mean, in reality, Granny always used to say, we have it easy, and now I understand why my foreparents used to make these statements, because I could imagine they coming up with that type of racism. Because what we see now is a fraction of what they went through. But they didn't have the social media to blow everything up.
No.
But it was far more, half chili, half Ghanese. Which half is one, which half is mommy, daddy? Yeah. So in the comment section, people, as Burn Team is here, we like to educe. So what would be some of the things we could do as a people now here, the team, Trinidad, us, Guyana, the Caribbean, the CARICOM, because it had to start somewhere. What do you think we could do? Chica, what do you think we could do to help change this view?
Alright, so Trevor, in as much as life with you, one can always bring about a level of change. I am doing it and we all can do it. Put out the energy, visualize what you seek, do something practical. Law of attraction is love, and this must not just be talk, but action.
Well said, and moving, eloquent. But this world, you know what I mean? This world, people. And that's why we want to be mentally fit.
Yeah.
Because I have seen people, good people, been cast at the wayside still, showing all the love that they can. And in reality, at some point, you had to put on a blinder to racism because you can't control what another person
Exactly.
is viewing you as.
True.
Message board.
So we have Andy. I was faced with race just a few weeks ago. Even as we speak, the young lady and I can't even speak over the phone, and it's because of her dad. Right?
You had to get into more in depth, Andy. When you say young lady, you have to get more in depth into,
Yeah.
the situation.
Then we have John saying, how long you will get killed primarily because of your ethnicity. The cycle won't end if the mindsets don't change on both ends. True.
You can't change, I mean.
Yeah.
You can't change
But
that
you
mindset.
you can't change anybody else's own. You can change your own mindset.
What does happen, as history will show? When we were in chains, we rebelled, even if they killed us. You see, the thing is, our forefathers paid a price. I don't think we have the belly to pay. I don't think us. If we were to exchange time zones, if they were to put us back in our forefathers' time when they were shackled and chained, and they had to rebel and they got a foot cut off, then they got a hand cut off, and most of us wouldn't be able to survive those atrocities. We wouldn't have that fortitude in us. And sometimes when we face this kind of adversity, and that's what you're seeing in the States right now, people are rebelling. Because how long will our people be in chain for? So if you look at the way things going now, it is a more mental shackle. Because that kind of uprising, they can't stem it. It's too many of us. No. Right? So it's a mental shackle. So that's why I say burn team is mental fitness, emotional fitness. Because we have to address our mental state. Because you might have to travel, you might have to do business outside, and you will, right in this country or right in the Caribbean, in the CARICOM, anywhere you're going to come up against people that really, really believe that you are less than them. Yes? So in the comment section, I know it's a kind of rough topic, and we are still waiting for you to give us a proper account of what happened, so that we could divulge and deduce and that kind of thing. Yes? So, if you're looking at this on Facebook, remember,
like, share,
follow. If you're looking at this on YouTube,
subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you have not already.
Right? So the topic is racism, burn team, and we in the lounge we chilling and we discussing with our peeps.
Yes.
Whoever want to join in could join in, but we discussing with our peeps things that that would affect our mental health. Now, is racism a mental issue? In the comment section. Place in the comment section if you want to believe that racism is a mental issue. If it's a mental disease that you think that because of whatever reason you better than me. It's
it is definitely in the mind because it's just in the mind.
It ain't factual. So I mean, to me.
Yeah.
Is it a mental state?
Yes, it is a mental state, definitely.
Is it a mental illness?
So
you see that's the thing. What's the definition of mental illness? Because in reality, let's remove all the blinds that we covering. You walking down the road. Mm-hmm. Right in Trinidad. Somebody just pass and watch you like. First thing we say, want to she? She better than people. Look, I mean right there. They even have no different races same like you.
True.
And they have what we say in Trinity, air about themselves.
Yes.
But then they project it out.
Yeah.
And then they look down. You see the body language, like they watch you like, you doing here? You're going all inclusive. They are not coming up, so hard luck people. The all inclusive is a little 2,500. The all inclusive. and they see a certain person walking and they pay them money, and they walk in and people like, how them working or what them doing in here? Them pay for that ticket? Is that not a mental state?
Yeah, it is. It is a mental state.
You know what I mean? Simple. And you see, we looking at the broad perspective that, you know, what happening in the world, which is something really, really sad and very deplorable, that the leaders of nations, that's the thing with me. Big up Mr. Thornhill.
Hi, Wayland.
Wayland on the inside. And the topic is racism, Wayland. So feel free to put in the comment section what racism is to you and what we could do to change that and make the world a better place. We can't heal the world, people. That's a fallacy. We can't heal the world. But, as my granny would say, don't mash my corn. You see, and that's the thing. That we have been trained to turn the other cheek. Chica, we have been conditioned. See this cheek here? You go to the message board.
Alright, so Andy is giving us more details.
Yeah,
so
man.
She said,
Story time.
it's because she is Indian and I am mixed, and her dad said to me, what you have them kind of people doing by, he get explicit, me, right?
Bani.
So-
Bani.
Andy is saying that maybe the young lady that he is interested in, you know, he can enter home, meet, and the dad is saying,
Boy.
I would no kind of mix there wrong here.
But I was discriminated just because of this. See this here? A whole bag of this. Chica will tell the story.
Message board.
Message
Sonali.
board.
Sorry to say, but if I had to experience present levels or even past levels of discrimination, my little fighter spirit will make you swear I'm the president of the NAACP. And Sonali, let them know what the NAACP stands for, just in case anybody don't know.
Yeah, the warrior spirit. So again, we have been conditioned to turn the other cheek. It has been placed in our biblical writings. So in reality, when you want to, socially condition a population, tell them God say. Now let me ask you a question. Young ladies, all you're walking on the road. Chica, you're walking on the road, you're minding your business.
Business.
You're going to your job. No, nobody. You're minding your business. Z, you're minding your business. Sonali, you're minding your business. And a gentleman walks up to you and squeeze you behind. Ain't he the guy, right?
Exactly. So.
Would you tell him squeeze the other cheek?
Nope.
In the comment section, ladies, tell me what you would do. In the comment section, you're walking on the road and this is real. I am not standing for, not one time, anybody coming blatantly to discriminate against me or my skin or my hair. I am not taking it. I'm not saying we're promoting violence, but as Granny say, do mash me corn because we go forward. I ain't gonna let you down according to if you lay your hand, well, thing will start. But anytime you see the reason why everything is forgive. I believe it has something called too much forgiveness. Ladies, you're walking down the road and a weirdo from nowhere comes and squeezes your right cheek. Would you give him your left cheek?
A left hand.
So that's an
Right.
association.
So, thank you, Sonali. So, for those who missed and doesn't know what NAACP is, National Association for the Advancement of Colored People.
And in reality, these organizations are very, very important, people. We have to remember, we have to start to love ourselves again. Right? we have to start to love ourselves again. We have to fall in love with ourselves all over again. Because the whole social upbringing. Ladies, tell me, if all you're going for an interview with all your natural hair and you're twisted down neat, they're asking you if you're going to graduate. I mean, think about it. We have been conditioned to think about it. Think about it. We bleaching, we skin. Now I realize I have a lot of people from the Caribbean. We are bleaching. Why? Message board.
Right. So we have Sonali saying it's only natural. Sonali, I don't know which point in time is saying it's only natural. I don't know if it's the fighter spirit, but it could be that. And he's saying sis will break it down, man. Yes, I will.
And then I come in after.
And then John saying Sonali, I guess he is, in agreement with what he thinks she's saying and about her having that fighter spirit. And we have Waylon. Okay, let's say if I have a white girl home and my brother don't like it, should we fix it? Selena, you mean 10 fingers in his face. And Andy, we are all black and I love it.
Andy, you will always come up against racism in this world. But when we allow it, we are allowing it for too long, regardless of where it comes from. We are allowing it for too long. And maybe the way some of us going about it is a bit violent.
Yeah.
But I'm not there, boy, so I can't say. I am not in the situation, and I always see. I don't know what I would do if I was in that particular situation. If it was my brother the shooter, my sister, I know what I do. Right? We in Trinidad,
yes.
So we're trying to promote love, unity. We're trying to build the community, and we're really trying to get love back. But we want to fall in love with ourselves again.
Yes.
Will we fall in love with we own here? I know it's hard. Not mine, but it's hard for people to fall in love with our own hair. Let's fall in love with our own skin again, irregardless the color. Right? But we know the color.
Yes.
Bleaching right now is a high scenario. Right? Let's fall in love with ourselves again. The message board running wild.
Alright, so we have Sonali to slap down the widow. He lucky he ain't get stabbed.
No, they're hot in this place.
And John, who's selling insurance? I wonder if it covers the beat down from Trini Chick. And Andy is saying, so after all the different things, you do the killing or whatever, and then Andy will do the burying.
Yeah, well, you go build the box thing. Yeah, and there are some countries in this world that do not take this,
Yeah.
But we have been conditioned to turn this cheek, turn that cheek, turn here. How much cheek we have to?
So,
message board from the Guyanese population.
The racism that I have faced growing up in owning a business as a black woman and my hair being has made me stronger mentally and physically. I will not let racism stop me for what I am passionate in doing. I would love to do something with you, Chika G. We must love ourselves.
Do something with Chika G.
Yes, we know she's talking about
Big
collab.
up yourself.
Yes.
Yeah, at some point.
We know we can't travel and go anywhere. We want to just shout out our young peeps.
Oh, Lord.
Yes, so, we work with, quite a number of young people, and they are looking on. They are being a part of the discussions as well.
Much love. So people in the comment section, feel free to please...
What I didn't do.
Yeah. She wanna do something with Chika J boy, John boy.
It is a collab on fitness, okay, people?
Guyanese fit chick.
Yes.
right? Place the link to your Facebook, paste it in the comment section so people can check you out, doing your thing. Chica J's into aerobics as well, so you know the collaboration.
She already added me as a friend on
Team
Facebook, so
Guyana. I like how that's again. When the borders open,
When the
right?
borders open.
Bird Team Guyana weekend, trouble in the camp, right? So the topic is racism, and people have been sharing their views. I know Andy spoke about, you know,
in terms of relationships,
and that is really the
Serious,
case. Now
yeah.
remember, cultures have brought up, cultures have brought up their children and their 4 children and children, it has been handed down through generation of inbreeding that mentality into their mind, even in the racial aspect. So you would always hear the older person saying, don't bring, you're hearing that because they have been already taught and brainwashed how to think. As I say, sometimes you just have to put on the blind and cork your ears. Don't let it get in, because when it gets in, it plays on your mind.
Exactly.
And we as a people have to understand that we live in a world that this cannot change. But we're not taking it. So that's why I brought up the instance where if a guy, a weirdo, just run up to you going to work and grab one of the rear end, one cheek, would you offer the next cheek? No. Because he has violated you.
Exactly.
And racial discrimination is a violation. So you can't meet violation with that type of reaction. You understand what I mean?
It can't be you grab me and I smile. Oh, touching next
It
time.
is no, you know why I brought it up like that? Because that person violated you. And racism is violation.
Yes.
This is not the turn the other cheek section. Or that'll go somewhere else for that. Wherever all you hear turn the other cheek, that is not burn team. Because once somebody violates you, you have to respond. You cannot just be pious all the days of your life. Fellas, somebody, you come home at night after a hard day work and day. You walk in your house and there's a man in a mask holding down your mother. In the comment section, what is your response? For those who have children, you come home after a hard day of work, and there's a man in a mask trying to hold on your daughter or son. What would be your response? Because racism is just as serious, because it is a violation. You can't treat a violation with a smile. Once the person doesn't have to like you, but they will respect you. They don't have to like the color of this. They don't have to. They don't have to like your hair. They don't have to like if you're African descent, East Indian descent, Chinese descent, Japanese descent, Cantonese descent. It don't matter. Right? But they will know when we see this, keep it pushing. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, respect.
Right? If you don't like this,
that's alright.
That is okay. If you don't like this,
that's okay too.
I'm going to drop it for you because half of them here can't grow. Right? Like this, that I'm a male pattern born, this time is 30. Right? So, you don't have this. You don't like this. That is alright. That is fine. That's your choice in this world. But you do not have a right to violate none of us. And it's time we as a people stand up respectfully. Somebody come and they start to talk to you, well, good morning. Ladies just do that a lot. Somebody start to talk to you and they just walk up to you. Ms. James, good morning. Yeah. You stop them in the tracks. Message board.
And they say, the man dead.
Long time, buried.
Right. Sure. It's having no discussion now. However, funeral arrangements will have to be made for that offending individual.
Story time.
I'll have another story.
Story time, boy, John, boy. So, that time, right? I was in sad for that though. There was a time, once upon a time in Bethlehem or Jerusalem or somewhere, right? I was in South with some of my brethren, and we was lying by the dial, in San Fernando, where the clock used to be, right? And rain started to drizzle. I like rain, eh? Them girls, they like rain. I think you're wet, I think. Yeah. So the guys walked over to KFC, the shelter. So I still by the dials. You know when I'm watching on the street, I see a man and a woman, East Indian descent, around over the 60, over 60, walking, coming up the road. And just what can I say? Coming up the road. And this gentleman, right, so she's dropped the link, right? This gentleman turned to the 60-year-old lady and hit her one right hook in her stomach. I say in this, fellas, this is true, this is story time with Rasta, So I am by the dial and I am seeing this gentleman, so he fully fist and he hooking she in. I talking heavy hook in mommy abdomen. So it had a gentleman next to me that he had an umbrella and he was going on open the umbrella to shelter from the rain. So I take the man umbrella away. Yeah. I took the man umbrella. I'm looking at a man hitting a plus 60-year-old woman and I took the man umbrella. So as soon as I snatched the man umbrella, them fellas and them started to cross the road. Because I don't just cross the road because they thought I can kill the man, or they cross the road to help her. Because I didn't need no help there. So so when I hit Uncle one at the umbrella, Uncle on the ground, and the lady stopped me. So I say, all right. They're killing my husband. So imagine this, people. She was being racial to me because of this. And her husband was beating her in San Fernando. I vexed I didn't take out my phone that time. That one I got 1 million views. Right? The man was beating her in San Fernando. And because I wasn't the right ethnicity, she didn't want our assistance. The woman crouched up with cough, in pain, and because of my ethnicity, she didn't want us to intervene. Yeah? So she come in the comment section, people, story time. You know what I mean? What you think about that? And this is a real account. Because of my hair and my skin, and the people who I was with resembling me, right? They did not want our assistance, even though they were being beaten. I talking beaten. She'd rather be beaten by her husband of her race than to be protected by another. And this is the mental that we're talking about that has been programmed into some of us. Chika? Questions, comments, queries, concerns. Chika still soaking the teeth.
That's why, some people, they say they're just minding their business.
Yeah.
And that is sad because imagine you are being assaulted. And this is your husband, so you are being physically abused in public.
In broad daylight, wasn't it that?
Well, broad daylight, everybody to see.
Yeah, I mean,
and someone is assisting you because they are seeing you going through pain, you're being hurt, and you don't accept. And a lot of people do that. Sometimes they don't accept help from persons who they believe are inferior to them. They don't accept the help that they truly need, the protection that they need because they believe, okay, I'm better than you. You can't help me. That's what it is.
Right? And
it's really sad.
And this is in my country. This is in our country, right? That's an account that happened to me. As you say, we sharing personal things that happen when, with racism in our country and in the world at large. Feel free, anyone on the live who has an account of something happened to them that was racial or racism was perpetrated at them, somebody was being biased to you, you could put it in the comments and share, because we're sharing different views. And thank you, Miss Smith.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Yeah. Them could condemn this. I'm gonna bring it further. I'm gonna bring it to Chica.
Yeah, all I get to it.
Yeah. So the topic is racism. If you're looking at this on Facebook, feel free to share the page. If you are looking at this on YouTube,
subscribe.
And we will continue with this topic, because we need to kind of get, let's not use anger and vengeance, and let's use our intellect. Yes? We are not standing for violation. Right? We are not standing for it. That's why I brought up, somebody, you come home and see somebody interfering with your mom, or somebody grab you. That is a violation, and you can't meet kindness. There is no such thing as kindness for violation. We have been programmed. Right? And after that was it for me,
Yeah.
After that happened.
And he's saying that is why
I lock off.
He stopped helping some ladies.
I lock off that. That was the last for me. Because you're putting yourself in danger to help somebody, and they even thankful for the help.
And that happens too with the lower people. They might call the police officer. No, leave that's my husband. And they find them, being aggressive and all these different things. And it is really sad, and that is a whole other topic by itself.
So physical abuse towards women would be a nice topic. That would be the other topic.
Physical abuse and a whole, because you all know that some men are physically abused.
Yeah, but we will talk about that as it progresses. So physical abuse would be the next topic, because
the next topic after the racism series.
Yeah. Right? So we have different types of racism. People think about themselves, they think that they are better, even though we're the same race.
Yeah.
You know,
so that may end falling under, and some persons of the same race, and so there's colorism as well.
Right.
So we have persons of African descent that may be, lighter in complexion, and because they are lighter in complexion, they believe that they are better than those who are black, as the saying goes, and darker in complexion. But
so colorism. So for people who we now getting attached to the terms, we're getting we're familiarizing ourselves with the terms used. So it has some red skin. Let me get the thing right. When we say lighter than complexion, red women stand up, red men stand up, light skinned dudes stand up. So people who think because they have a lighter shade, they are better than a darker shade, it's called colorism. Right? So there are people of African descent that have a light shade of skin, and red women and you know what we're talking about. The red women have a complex. Trini red women have a complex. And we will deal with that as well. The red woman complex in Trinidad and Tobago. And the guys will rule this topic, because the ladies might take a back seat.
But does it have a red man complex?
Nah, red fellas they on the scene. Red women have this kind of
thing about that.
Yeah. I've been told by red women rule the world.
Oh.
I know why.
I don't know why.
Right?
I didn't know that.
I know there was billionaires on it. Anyway, so the topic is racism. Burn team style.
Yeah.
Chica J, have you ever been victimized in that way? Ever come across that in your life? Wait, let me ask a question that she might come to terms with. Have you ever been discriminated for having natural hair? Chica has natural hair.
Yes.
I don't think she ever wear a weave. I don't think she ever wear braids.
Yes, remember.
Oh yeah.
It had once, people.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
She wear braids.
Once, and I really tried my best to hold it out for a month. They say it's supposed to last a little longer than that. Yeah. I don't even think it lasted a month, like 3 weeks, and then it wasn't even straight, braids.
We as a people need
straight.
to fall in
kinky.
love with ourselves again.
Yeah.
Right? So, Chica, have you ever been discriminated for having natural hair in the workplace or
So yes, I have been told about my natural hair. When it is so,
Tell a
you
story.
will normally see. Why did you have me telling a
Story time with Chica.
So it was like
take a drink.
why does he always have a hair in that picky hairstyle, right? So you all know that in Trinidad, if it is African hair, it don't even it's not even this, but it's still called it picky. It's just that rule it in.
But bring the thing out there, boy. Them people them sort of talk about here.
So yeah, I have been told about my hair in the workplace, but of course, as you know that I'm a very what is the word?
Strong-willed, stubborn, mulish, hardened, and I could keep going on for hours.
Yes, but the thing about it is, I love my hair. I love my skin. You will even see that, people, I don't know how to do makeup, so that's maybe why. But, you really have to accept yourself for who you are, and you really have to love. Because if it is we can't accept differences, we must learn to even accept differences. And we need to love ourselves for you can't be somebody else. You can't be something that you're not.
And if there are any makeup artists on the live and you're feeling to showcase your talents, Chica J's face is available for one time only on our expo.
So you
message board.
Give it up my face.
Message board.
Alright. So Chance talk about it. I think it's the red woman. Red woman, my foot. And I don't know, he was saying something is a big lie. And we have Z now. I got in an argument with some people living around me. And the words that can come out of their mouth is that you're a nigger MC. That is why all you're hungry and will never reach nowhere.
All you're hungry?
Boy, all I can tell them is that what I have in my house is mine. I don't have to beg for it. And some other words as well.
Tell me what drinking here, Z.
John saying lion, you go ahead. She just beat her. Who just beat there?
But you ain't lying, boy, John, boy. Them girl and see, boy. Anyway.
I do not promote violence. Andy, as I always say, I must love me. Yes, Andy, you must always. If you can't love yourself, don't expect nobody to love you. You have to love yourself.
Yes. And this is one of the things we were speaking about. When people have a false sense, you can't generalize a population. I can pull up. If the people who like to Google and you Google some of the billionaires on the planet, they look like us.
They do.
Yeah, so I mean, irregardless of what that person thinks, people of our race, our vibration think, that just shows how small their consciousness is. Right? And what we need to do is elevate our consciousness. Because anyhow in this universe, you have to go to the earth, you have to go to the ground. So if there was a race that was immortal, then that would be the race.
Message board. Yes. John, I do not know what you speak of. I'm someone that stands up against abuse. So as you all know, as Lion always remind you all that the dedicated social worker, right? I live by it.
John boy.
Z,
mad thing.
I love myself also. I don't care what nobody says. And Sonali is saying, don't be fooled, they are red man complex. Well, red man complex.
Well, if you come across red man complex, well, feel free to message in the message section what situation you end up in to know that you have a red man complex. Women always tend to have that air. You might find one or two fellas don't really. Like, fellas, let me tell you how fellas just flex. Fellas just flex if they're driving a nice ride. You see, like the air now, they pull up in a little BM. They have a little air, they have a little air about themselves, Not really the color of the skin, what I mean.
Yeah.
If they, they have a little dollar in their pocket, so next thing I start walking, they walk in a nice little place now. And they know me. Yeah, son. And they say, yeah, anything now. I do so. And we swipe the car, so the air. You know, fellas just have air about themselves with them kind of thing. Not really, the majority would be just the skin alone.
Yeah.
They have a little BM and they drop low with a nice rim and they rock back so. Skin out so. Yeah.
Alright, so John, them short girl is beat bad, you know.
Yeah.
Love. Careful, people, careful.
Yeah.
John, well, it looked like you have an experience. Maybe you could tell us a story where you experienced a short girl beating you, because I don't know about that.
I might be one of the sexual desires.
Andy.
So
Andy, we have Andy. Black woman sweet, and I am not sorry. And yes.
short girls have a complex. Yeah, so
what complex is that?
So as we say, right, the topic is racism. We chilling on it, but team we sharing our views, our vibrations. I mean some of our stories. So I would share another one because I have a lot of stories. I could have stories from now to never worry, right? I was speaking to pundit because I like to always, open my mind to certain aspects of culture. We live in a multicultural society, but we learn nothing about each other's culture. We maybe only know Pentecostal faiths, that's it. We not real, and not even the original African faiths like spiritual Baptists, which is our original Caribbean religion, and Shango, which is African religion as well. We tend not to learn anything about any other race. And we live in our rainbow country.
Yeah.
We're supposed to be well versed in each other's culture.
But we
Yeah.
are not.
Right? So, message board career.
Message board, we have Sonali saying, family has shown me that. The red
Okay.
complex,
Okay.
both male and female.
Female hot. Female over the top with her.
Z. According to what Keith
Keith Sweat. Keith Sweat.
who can love you like me?
Nobody. Keith Sweat was talking to a woman. Keith Sweat was saying. Anyway, let me not go into that. Right. Story time. Popcorn time. Story time.
Sorry.
Speaking to a pundit, so the Rasta, I always liaise with different denominations because the broader your mind is, the more you can understand who labors among you in this world. And the pundit was speaking to me on a very decent level. So this is a account where it wasn't racism. He was educating me. Right? So when we say educate, it comes from the Greek word educe. And educe means to draw out. So what we try to do in Burn Team here is draw out of you guys. That's why we would say share your stories, share your views, share your experiences, so that we bring it out of you and then we put it on the platform and now we could dissect and learn from each other. So the pundit was telling me, I don't know if you're correct or not, but he was telling me, he said the problem with the African race. So I get hot. He finished talking. Right? He started the conversation with the problem with the African race. And I get hot. I didn't want to let the man finish. He said, no, son. Right? He had a partner now. Because we're so passionate now.
Yes.
Anytime somebody coming wrong, we're ready. We're ready to mince them up. We're ready to, which is good. That means we're getting some backbone. Right? It's good. It's good that we standing up. Everybody sitting down. Right. So, in a nutshell, I won't give you the whole thing. In a nutshell, what he was saying is that the reason why they broke you in slavery was to take away that connection of who you really are. Because if for 1 minute the African race knew who they were, they wouldn't be behaving like this. Which is true. I remember looking at the show Coming to America. Anybody can remember Coming to America? Not Chica. Anybody who can remember Coming to America with this fella? Right, Coming to America when he was an African prince and he came to America and he was cleaning and sweeping and all that kind of thing. Put it in the comment section. Anybody who can remember Coming to America? Basically, it was this gentleman who was a prince, African prince, super rich in Africa. And he came to America. And he fell in love with an American girl. Eddie Murphy, well done, John Boy. That's the reality.
I can't remember.
Well done, yeah. He came to, right? And he was sweeping or mopping a diner. And the boy with him saying, boy, they real slave work, boy, me accustomed to this, I'm quarreling. And the owner of the establishment looked at him. And the way he was mopping showed that he was more than what he said he was. And we would say that is low grade work. But sometimes the way we do the littlest things, once you know, because in his mind he know he's a king, he know he's a king, he know he's a prince, he know he monitor like this guy. So that's not an issue. He don't have to show that. He don't have to show off that. He don't have to, oh, okay. When his father come to throw in rose petals on the ground, when his father come to America, it has some people rolling a carpet and they throw in rose petals on the king, on the ground for the king to walk on. That's his father. That's the kind of flex. But the point is, he already know who he is, what he is. He just didn't want the young lady to like him because
of what he have.
Right? And in reality, it don't matter where your social standpoint is in life. They can have the world of racism, it can have the world of hate. Once, and that is what the pundit was trying to show me, is that when you know who you are, you believe, it don't really have anybody that can whatever they say, whatever they do, whatever they try, whatever they implement, it wouldn't have any effect on you because you know who you are. So this is bird team people, it only take go.
Yes.
In the comment section, feel free to put what arm of the racism topic we should be continuing this episode with. Chica, what you think, colorism? So the topic will be Red Woman Syndrome. John Boy, if you want me to talk about Red Woman Syndrome, put some hearts in the...
We will call it Red Woman Syndrome.
Yeah, but it's colorism.
Yeah.
But you know we go put Red Woman Syndrome because we in the Caribbean like canker. We like bacchanal. So, you know, we title it like that. So, you know, what are you talking about? You know, that kind of thing. So, that would be the next part.
Yes.
And then short girl syndrome. Because, you know, it have people who feel because they're short. You know that? No, they know. Yeah. Right. No comment. Right? So, people... Yeah, yeah. Because they have a complex boy, John boy. I deal with plenty red woman boy, and hey, everyone have this nothing sweeter than this. You can't go no way. I run the show. Right? So the topic is racism. The next one would be colorism. And we'll add some fun with the colorism. Because, you know, we don't want to keep it doom and gloom. We want to keep it a little fun, a little vibesy, you know, because it's bird team and we're still educating and we're still learning. And I will bring some stories that I have personally dealing with red women on a whole currently. You understand?
I ain't saying nobody. It's only John and Andy, they're ready for this topic. Like, it have some stories coming.
Right? So, next topic would be colorism.
Alright, so Gail is agreeing with Sonali.
Alright, Gail, I still
have some men.
I mean, I have some. But I feel we just get more up there when we have a dollar in my pocket and when we, you know, we have something to floss now. We have something to show.
Yeah.
We just get that kind of...
Yeah.
Yeah, we just get puffy, we chest just get high, and we just be... Andy, what the message was?
Andy is saying run from red girls.
Nah, man. I mean, people is people. But, I mean,
Yeah.
now think of it this way. When we say red woman have a syndrome, women with shape, girls with shape, you know, when they move, when they have a kind of. Women with money. You know, so there's always something I can leverage.
It's not like we're going over this, going past the topic. So
No, I'm not going past the topic. I'm just
Colorism.
saying it's colorism for the next episode.
Yes.
But as we on the woman and man thing too, you know, women with a little booty, the booty girls, you know, they feel there because they have a little, as we say, chunky chunk. Yeah. So, what you call that?
I don't know what you call it.
Because if you feel it, all right, good-looking women, good-looking men.
Mm-hmm.
When they have an air about themselves, what you would call that? If the skin color is colorism, what you would call somebody who good-looking, a male or a female, and thinks they, you know, they have an air about themselves.
I didn't see any change. I shall post a poem. When you are black, you don't change color.
Post up.
Yes. So I do not know how John is seeing my face turning red. Right, I'm hearing short syndrome.
Yes,
Girls
because
with shape syndrome.
Yeah,
and
because
all these different syndrome. I do not have any of those syndromes.
but you know it have, right? You know it have ladies.
Yeah, it does have.
Especially
ladies.
they're good looking. Yeah, what's going on?
But my question, what is good looking?
Well, good looking in this society scenario.
Okay.
Think about this. You know what is be real?
John is saying you call that arrogant.
Yeah, so think about it. Let me pile it together. Here, light skin and slim. You have a slim girl syndrome. They think they're watching everybody. Yeah. So anyway, people, it's your boy Lion.
And a girl chikachi.
Next topic is
Colorism.
right tomorrow.
Yeah.
What time?
We will let you know.
Although we go on, share it up, big it up, we go on. Big
Yeah.
up Jodo, Andy, Sonali, Gail, Z. Straight out.
Yeah.
Began.